But one thing is clear and proven. Near-death experiences have extreme effects on the people who have them, because for them, life continued after death.
The vast majority of people who have a near-death experience are profoundly changed for decades after the experience. They typically become less materialistic, less competitive, less involved with personal power, prestige, fame, much more altruistic, much more concerned with relationships and with the spiritual side of lives. We have many examples of people who changed their careers, who changed relationships as a result of their near-death experience.
Gordon Allen was an entrepreneur, a ruthless and very successful financier who worked in the heart of the Pacific Northwestern business world.
The important values that I had at that time, the first important value was to make sure that everything was okay with my children. The second important value was to maintain cash flow, and that was really what made me run. It also was a lot of fun to make money. I enjoyed making money. The funny thing about money, and the good news about money in some respects, is that it totally doesn't care who owns it or how you came to own it. It really doesn't matter. And so that means that one person who's a not very good person can have a lot, and somebody who's a good person maybe isn't going to have it, because money doesn't discriminate in any sense of the term.
Gordon's ruthless business world was about to be turned upside down. He became acutely ill with pneumonia. Feeling like he was about to die, he took himself to hospital.
I remember him putting me in a wheelchair. I remember looking at the admitting area and being wheeled into some sort of a room, and that's about what I remember of that part of it. My next cognitive memory is that of leaving and traveling. You know, and the out-of-body experience begins. The very first thing that came over me was this absolutely profound sensation of love. I mean, it was so unconditional. A love of the child of the mother, the two of those interacting. And that love was so totally unconditional, it was overwhelming to me. And that was beautiful and wonderfully accepting. And as I proceeded into this, the sense of this very profound love was followed by a sense of purposefulness, that whatever is happening has a point to it. I ended up in more of a space. I'm not standing on grass, and I'm not out into the woods, and there aren't streets paved with gold, but where I'm at is in a space, and a high spiritual being has greeted me, and there's two other spiritual beings, one on the left, one on the right, and I'm being communicated with. I cannot recreate the sounds in my mind, but I was greeted as an old friend and a loved brother, and that if I chose to go home, come home, I could. Yet I had not finished what I was there to do, and they said, look, they didn't say look, but immediately the thought was communicated to me that all the skills and all the talents and everything that I've been given, which I've been very, very, very blessed with, were for a purpose greater than the purpose that I used it for. The purpose of making money in it itself wasn't it, that there was another purpose for it, and that they should now be applied in some ways that would be shown to me. Absolutely, that's the moment my life changed. That is the moment my life changed. When I came back, my heart is filled, and you would describe this as being on fire. Your heart feels like your heart's on fire. and it's on fire with love, okay? The sensation of love that I experienced as I was going through the out-of-body experience has retained itself. I'm there. It's in me. It hasn't gone away. It hasn't changed. So I'm trying to understand where it's going to go, but I've decided that I was not going to try to save anything that I had from my past life in the financial world or the business or anything. So those people who were most vehement about the fact that I wasn't going to work in the real world anymore as financial guru, and that they weren't going to be able to make a lot of money off of me anymore by whatever method that was, I called them up. I say, "Hi, Bill, hi, Jack," or whoever it was. "This is Gordy, you remember?" "Oh, yeah, Gordy." And you can hear them pull back off the phone because they're waiting for the hit. Because in the old days, that might have been a hit coming after them, looking for the money or whatever I was doing. I said, "Hey, last time we talked, I wasn't really too happy about the way that came out, and I think I would be a less than candid if I didn't say I was not being good to you, that I wasn't being loving to you, and I just wanted to call you and ask your forgiveness for whatever I might have done to you. Now, if you want to hear dead air on a telephone, do that." You have total silence, and then there's a little stutter, and they say, "Well, yeah, I guess so," or whatever, and that's the end of it.
Today, Gordon has severed all links with business and left the world of money far behind. He's now a qualified counselor and uses his new understanding to help others change their lives.
The after effects that Gordon Allen experienced are typical of a large number of near-death experiencers whose lives before the experience were not compatible with the values they learned afterwards. Some of the people that I've talked with have included like a policeman who found he couldn't kill people, couldn't shoot after his experience, and went on to become a high school teacher. Someone involved in organized crime who went on to become a counselor for delinquent children. These are not unusual stories to hear from near-death experiencers. I think with someone like Gordon, who had such drive and such organizational skills, to see him use these now to help other people rather than just acquire more wealth was quite phenomenal.
The richness of the life that I have today is like the Sistine Chapel compared to a plain, drab little room somewhere. I mean, it's just, you can't put it in words, the richness of the life that I have today. Even though I live a very modest life, drive a very modest car, the richness that has been provided to me today. And this is not in any way social or economic or anything that we can measure by the standards that we normally measure things.
If I was in a road accident, I would be quite happy to stay where I was now. My children have grown up. I've got no problems, no difficulties, certainly no fear of death. It's almost now as if I would actually welcome it.
I'm very thankful to have had this experience because it helped me in many aspects of my life, and it helped me to deal with things a lot more constructively than I might have otherwise.
I would die to have a near-death experience. Yes, that's a corny answer, I know, but it's true. Had I not had that near-death experience, I would have no interest in being here today.
I think death is an illusion. I think death is a really nasty, bad lie. I don't see any truth in the word death at all.